Hey everyone, welcome to Adventures in Everyday Cooking, where every day can be an adventure in your kitchen. My name is Heather and today we're doing steak bites. Now, steak bites are little pieces of steak that are bite sized. I mean, like, duh, right? Well, we're gonna do it in the deluxe air fryer. And the reason we're gonna do this is because a couple weeks ago, I did that video with the boneless, skinless chicken thighs and breasts. And my husband was like, well, we have chicken and salads, but why can't we have steak salads? And I was like, yeah, why can't we? So you guys, I'm gonna adventure today and we're gonna figure this out together. I have never done this before. I'm gonna be just as surprised as you are as we come to the results of this video. So, are you ready for this adventure? Let's do air fryer steak bites. Let's go. And what you're gonna need if you're gonna cook along with me is steak, your choice cut into 1-inch cubes, some oil, some salt, and your favorite seasoning. So I assume the first thing that we're going to need is steak. So I have picked up some tri-tip from the big box store we have here in town. I'm gonna take one piece of it and cut it up, and I'll save the other piece for maybe if this goes horribly wrong. All right, and the first thing we're going to do is we're gonna get it cut into bite-sized chunks. And it's important that they're all about the same size so that you get a nice even cook. All right, and once your meat is all cut, we're gonna go ahead and get it into a freezer bag or a vacuum seal bag because we need some marinate time. All right, and I just have a little canister here to help me hold my bag, but I'm gonna use a vacuum sealer bag because it will cut my marinating time in a 1/10. So I'm only gonna have to marinate it for as long as it sucks, and then that's it. But I want it in my container here so that it will stand up and hold very well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all of my pieces in, and then we are gonna add some oil to this bag. Now, I don't know how much oil I'm adding. This is the garlic olive oil that I make here at home. I'm just gonna add enough so it kind of coats all of the pieces. So probably about 1.5 tablespoons, maybe only a tablespoon. But I'm just gonna eyeball it. If I use a little more than 1 tablespoon or 1.5 tablespoons, will it be the end of the world? I don't think so. It will just be wasteful. And then we're gonna add some salt. So with about this much meat, I'm gonna say probably about 1 teaspoon or so of salt. And we're gonna give that a good mix as well. And then we're gonna add the seasoning of our choice. Kinder's came out with some brand new seasonings, and the one I'm gonna use today is called smoked onion and jalapeno. Now, those of you that have been following this channel for a little while will know that I am a little bit of a wimp. So, that being said, good luck me, because when I opened this just now, it smells spicy. So because I want to be as accurate as possible, I'm going to go ahead and use a tablespoon measuring spoon, and that's only because I don't want to get my hand full of that jalapeno. So I'll put 1 tablespoon in here, I will massage the bag, and then we'll decide if we need any more from there. I just want a little bit of it on all of the pieces of meat. Sea salt, dehydrated garlic, smoked onion, dehydrated onion, cane sugar, black pepper, jalapeno peppers, rice, citric acid, and sunflower oil. So gluten-free, but whew, let me tell you what, that is something else. I'm gonna just roll it down, give it a good shake, and see if we can get that on all of the pieces. I may have to add more. I mean, 1 tablespoon for all of that meat might not be enough, but we'll see. I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to die when I bite into it. But I also want the flavor to make sure, you know, I want the flavor to be in there. So let's take a look. It's looking pretty good, actually. There are a few places where I feel like number one could use a little bit more oil. So we'll put in about 1/2 tablespoon more. And then I will go ahead and add 1/2 more tablespoon of the seasoning. So 1 1/2 tablespoons period for about a 2-pound tri-tip that has been cut into bites. Shaky, 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 shaky. I don't know if you can see inside that bag, but it looks like everything has a little seasoning and it might be ready for the marinating process. Now, if you don't have a vacuum sealer, I will ask why. It is one of my favorite tools in this kitchen, but if you don't worry, you can still do this. You're just gonna want to go ahead and seal your freezer bag and get it into the refrigerator for 30 to 120 minutes, just however long you can wait to let that rub really penetrate that meat. That's gonna be ideal, but since I do own a vacuum sealer and I love it, let's use that. Okay, so to seal and marinate our meat here, we are going to put our bag inside the channel. We're gonna click the marinate button and then we're just gonna wait. All right, we're gonna open it up and then we're gonna push marinate again. And basically what this marinate function is doing is just sucking all of the air out of the bag, which then brings the juices through the meat or the rub through the meat and penetrates the meat a lot more quickly than if I just marinated it for 30 to 120 minutes. So usually they say you want to marinate your meat about 3 to 5 times. So I'm just gonna do it 3 times and then we'll call it good. All right. And our meat is completely marinated as if I had let it sit for upwards of 2 hours. So thank you, Food Saver. We'll see ya. And I'm not playing when I say that I love my Food Saver. It is right over there. You see it? Right over there. It sits on my counter. You see it in every video because I use it a lot. Not just for sous vide, not just for marinating. In fact, possibly later this week or early next week, I'm gonna show you something that is going to revolutionize my life. Okay, let's move on to the next step. Okay, let's talk about our air fryer now. So if you are using a deluxe air fryer from Pampered Chef, you have a couple options. You can just put them right on the tray. You can put them in the easy clean, drip-free, mess-free catcher thing, or you can do it in our basket. Now, those of you that know me know that we are gonna do it in the basket. But first, for the rest of you, I'm gonna go ahead and do it on the tray first because most people have an air fryer with just a basket. And so I wanna show you how easy it will be to get that into your air fryer and what it looks like when it comes out. And then of course, we're gonna do it in the basket and we're gonna have fun doing it. And I'm gonna take my pre-marinated meat and I'm going to put it on the basket. And we are just going to move them around and make sure they're not touching any of their neighbors. Because if they're touching, then they're not going to cook evenly. And this actually, even though I said it smelled really, really hot, it smells fantastic, but it does smell quite spicy. All right, I feel like that's plenty. All right, and after a quick wash of the hands, we are gonna get it in the air fryer. Now, the regular air fry setting right here is 400 degrees. I don't know that I want this at 400 degrees. I feel as though 360 is probably plenty. So I'm gonna go to custom. I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes and then we're gonna set it for 360 and then we're gonna get these in. Now, do I preheat it or don't I? That is the real question. You know, I'm gonna preheat it actually. So let's go ahead, go back to here. Let's preheat it for 5 minutes at 360. So do that earlier. Only because when I get my basket in later, it's already gonna be preheated. So let's just go with preheat for 5 minutes, just so we can guarantee that the temperature in there is 360 the moment we bring it in. Okay, since I have nothing else to do, 5 minutes is gonna go by like that. Okay, the time's up. So let's go ahead and push cancel. Custom, 10 minutes, 360. Open it up, get those in there. And go. Now, at the end of 5 minutes, I'm going to stop that, give them a good flip, and then we're gonna check the temperature, internal temperature, because I really don't wanna overcook these either. So at the 5 minute mark, I should know about how much more time is needed. So while that's cooking for 5 minutes, let's go ahead and get our basket loaded. Okay, so let's go ahead and pour the rest of our steak bites in here, and I'm just going to give them a good shake so that they're not really sticking together. And voila, they're ready for the air fryer once those guys are out. So I guess I'll see you back here in about 4 minutes to check the temperature and decide what we're doing next. Okay, we're at the halfway mark, so let's pause it for a second and let's take the internal temperature reading of these bad boys. 134. Those guys are done at 5 minutes. Now, a couple things that I realize, they didn't get much color. I mean, they're fine. They look acceptable, but they didn't really color up very much. Yeah, those are a medium rare steak bites. Okay, all right, let's get this in for the same 5 minutes on rotisserie. So we're gonna install that. We're gonna push go. We're gonna push rotate. And yeah, I mean, these guys don't look bad. They're just not very colorful. They are certainly medium rare. The jalapeno is not hot. Oh man, those are good. Medium rare steak bites, that's a thing. Oh, those are good. The spicy jalapeno kick that's in the back of my throat is really good. I am not sad about that. It is important to note that these don't have any color on them. And this, after 5 minutes, is medium rare, which is exactly where my family wants their steak. Obviously, it is a little bit brown, but there's not a ton of color, which could be off-putting for people, or it could be just fine. It just depends on you and how you like your steak. However, they're darn good. I'm gonna get a plate. This was a success. I am definitely doing steak like this again. 5 minutes, 360, that's good. Now, I would not, however, make them any smaller than this because less area of the steak would mean that they will cook much faster and not be as tender and juicy and medium rare as you would want them. Of course, you would I would like add a minute on for every 10 degrees of temperature difference you would like, but I would not adjust anything. I would venture to say that if I tried for more color, so moving the rack maybe up to the top, they would overcook, and I would not be okay with that. Okay, those ones are ready to come out. I'm gonna get on my glove because I know I will try to burn myself. And let's check them out. And we want to check the temps of them right away so that we know what we're looking at. Okay, already I'm not even gonna check the temp. I can still see pink on the outside, and that's what I kind of figured, being that it was in the basket. So we're gonna go ahead and get that restarted very quickly. Let's get it restarted for 5 more minutes at 360, go. And the reason I figured that was gonna happen was because since they're tumbling, they're not all getting, the constant heat that makes them cook all the way through as quickly, which rotisserie is not quicker necessarily. I mean, some things it's a little quicker, but it's just more evenly, that heat is evenly distributed. There it is. Let's check it out. Let's see what we got. Oh, they look fantastic in here. And they have a little bit more color than the other guys. Look at that. Okay, let's go ahead and pour them out. Oh, dang, those look good. Okay, now I don't see much of a difference between these two, and I am positive that these guys have come to temperature. 135, there we go. That is our medium rare temp that we want. So, I don't know. I mean, they look identical to the other ones. They look a little bit more juicy, if that was even possible, in the rotisserie, which I guess it is, because as it cooked, it like marinated in its own juices, whereas the other ones just kind of sat there and the juices ran out. But they look fantastic, and of course we're gonna have to try it in just a moment. I'll give you a close-up. The only pros about doing it on the tray is that it's done in 5 minutes, and you'll have delicious medium rare steak bites in 5 minutes. However, that being said, these other ones look rather much more juicy. All right, these guys came out of the rotisserie. And these ones were on the basket. See how these ones aren't nearly as juicy looking as those ones? Interesting. I mean, these guys still look juicy and they still have that glistening meat effect. But then you go over to these guys and you're like, I'm pretty sure I want those before these. So yeah, what do I think in general? In general, I think both methods. So if you are doing it in your basket air fryer, 5 minutes at 360, and it will be amazing. If you have the rotisserie basket of the deluxe air fryer, I would still do it in that if I had the 10 minutes to play with. However, if you don't have the 10 minutes to play with, you have 5. I mean steak, delicious bites of steak in 5 minutes. I'm so glad I did this. Okay, let's try the other ones. Those are definitely juicier than these ones were. The smoked onion jalapeno is delicious and it's not too hot. In fact, I don't feel a lot of the spice at all. I can taste the spice on there and you can taste the onion, you can taste the jalapeno, but I don't taste like an overwhelmingly spicy flavor. Those are good. I do feel as though the seasoning was just right for about 2 pounds of meat. And I don't know, I think that this was a success. All right, you guys, well, if you enjoyed that video, please give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. I do videos several times a week and I'm always looking for the next adventure. I do enjoy adventuring in my kitchen and I love that you're coming along with me. So that's it for me, you guys. I guess I'll see you on the next adventure. Bye.